Welcome everyone to Team Essentially Healed, our Monday night training. This training is designed to help you get the most out of your products and to maybe get some new ideas for how to use what you already have, and maybe also some new ideas for some products that you might want to add to your cart next time around. Tonight, we're going to be talking about our evening routine. So last week we talked about our morning routines and how we incorporate doTERRA into those morning routines. And so for me, evening really starts with dinner. So I usually eat around 5, sometimes as early as 3 actually, and then maybe something very, very small around 6. And I usually eat something that's really easy to digest. I've been really focused on kind of liver detoxing and just really helping my liver do its best job. And so I make sure that I'm not eating anything after 8 p.m. I also don't really drink anything after 8 as well. I mentioned last week that I start my morning with a lot of water. And so I feel like I can go that whole time from about 8 p.m. until I wake up in the morning without adding any more. I take my Lifelong Vitality with breakfast and lunch because the alpha CRS does contain a natural stimulant. So I don't like to eat it, or I don't like to take it with dinner. And to make sure that I don't eat after 8, I often brush my teeth with the On Guard whitening toothpaste and rinse with the On Guard mouthwash around 8 so that I'm not tempted to eat more. I'm kind of lazy, so, you know, if I've brushed my teeth for the night, I'm less likely to eat because I don't want to brush them again. So I'm often socializing with my nomadic friends in the evening, and so I'll brush before going over to play games or watch a movie so that I'm not eating a ton of junk food late at night. This doesn't always work, but it's better than when I don't. So a friend of mine keeps buying these queso ruffle potato chips that are so bad and so good, and he buys them for me, and I keep telling him, don't buy them for me. I don't want to be eating them, but it's hard not to eat them when they're around. So I'm sure you guys can all relate to some sort of junk food that's hard to resist. If I'm not socializing and I'm just hanging around in my van in the evening, then I'll drop some oils in the diffuser. My favorite combo is still the white fir and bergamot, although I'll need to switch that up when I run out of the white fir because we no longer carry the white fir. I also love diffusing frankincense. I had never thought to really diffuse frankincense until Janae and I were at convention a year and a half ago. And I realized what a great oil this is to diffuse when we were visiting the corporate headquarters and their welcome center, and they had a diffuser that was just pure frankincense. It is so peaceful and so nice. Sometimes it's nice to use the doTERRA Spa mud mask before bed. Just put it on, wait for about 5 minutes, rinse it off, and then use the hydrating cream for super soft skin. So the hydrating cream is in the little pot, and it is really, oh, it smells so good. It has jasmine and it has just really wonderful oils. I have to stop and just show you guys this sunset. If you can see out my window, this is my view right now. And all of a sudden the light was just gorgeous. View of the day. So otherwise you can just use your normal skincare products. So the Virage, the Essentials, or the HD Clear, whatever it is that you're using. Also, if you are someone who wakes up with any joint stiffness at all, or even sore back, make sure to apply some of the Deep Blue Rub to that area before you hit the sack. And if it does apply to you, also make sure you take a couple of the Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex capsules and a Copaiba soft gel before you go to bed. And if you're having trouble sleeping, then take 2 of the Serenity Restful Complex soft gels half an hour before you go to bed. And then when you go to bed, apply your sleep oils to the bottoms of your feet and massage it into the tip of your big toes to help balance your pituitary gland. So the pituitary gland is your master controller. Sleep issues are most often stress issues. So do what you can to reduce stress will make for a much better night's sleep. And by massaging your sleep oil into the tip of your big toe will help with just releasing that stress and really balancing out your whole system as you balance out your pituitary. I have gone into really great detail about sleep hygiene before, and I'll link that replay when I post this replay, and I'll also link the blog post that is on EssentiallyHealed.com. But to do a quick overview, there are 10 things that I think really make for a good night's sleep. One is the no food after 8. 2 is to dim the lights, so no bright white lights or, in that blue spectrum after 8 p.m. Make sure you control your screens. So smartphones now have a wellness program in them, the newer smartphones, where they'll dim your screen automatically for you. I use Flux on my computer. That's fl.ux, and it is fabulous. It just dims your computer screen to an amber, and it gets dimmer and dimmer as it gets closer to bedtime. And it'll pop up and say, okay, it is this time, you have, so many hours before you wake up. And so it'll be like, hey, you're not getting enough sleep if you don't go to bed now. Number 4 is to fight the urge to pee at 3. So many of us wake up at 3 and feel like we need to pee. If you can fight that urge and sleep through that, you'll find usually that you can sleep through that and you'll be fine. If that is more of a challenge, then using the juniper berry and cedarwood on your bladder can help with that control. Number 5 is to purge your mind by writing things down before you go to bed. So if you're the type of person whose brain is just really ramping up and really trying to solve the world's problems before you go to bed, then write down the things that you have on your mind before you go to bed. Another option would be to write down all the things that you're grateful for so that you can go to bed feeling really good about yourself. And that really sets you up for the next morning. Number 6 is to make sure that you are sleeping in a cool room. When we sleep, our metabolism kind of ramps up and our body is kind of going through all the things and helping us kind of get rid of stuff. And so the cooler your room, the better your body can do that, because then you're not going to get too hot. Also in the not getting too hot realm is to use layers of bedding, or just a simple down throw, kind of European style, so that you can kind of, kick a leg out and that sort of thing. But just really make sure that you can stay comfortable all night. Also, keep your feet warm just before you go to bed. It's really hard to sleep if your feet are icy cold. So, even if you have to use like a hot water bottle on your feet, anything that you can do to keep your feet warm just before you go to bed. Number 9 is to balance your hormones. And if you're nearing menopause or after menopause, using the Clary Calm can be a really good option for you, putting that above your ovaries, on your lower abdomen, and also around your ankles, which is the reflexology point for hormones for your ovaries. Also, just use your oils. The oils can be so supportive of sleep. There's so many good sleep oils. My favorite recipe for sleep oil is, and I have this on our EssentiallyHealed.com website under the blog, but in a 5 milliliter roller ball, and it's 15 drops of lavender, 10 drops of vetiver, 8 drops of Roman chamomile, 5 drops of frankincense, 5 of ylang ylang, and 5 of wild orange, and then you fill the rest with fractionated coconut oil. And then if you can just roll that on the bottom of your feet and the tip of the big toe and just rub it into your toe, this one really helps a lot. I had a woman who, seriously, she hadn't slept through the night in like 5 years, and I gave her a sample of this, and that first night the next morning she came to me and she's like, oh my gosh, I actually slept all night. It was so exciting. For diffusing, if you just Google evening diffuser blends, you'll come up with all kinds of graphics for great ideas for diffusing at night. Let me just show you. The ones that look like this with the little drops, those are from doTERRA. And so all of these are just really great. And a lot of the others are from other wellness advocates. You can even add into your search, you can add doTERRA to just refine the, so that is mine. Now it's your turn.
I do the Lifelong Vitality every evening. And to that, I add TerraZyme and PB Assist. On Guard toothpaste. I put frankincense on my chest as both for the coughing and the heart. I always take copaiba morning and night. If I'm congested, I'll add breathe to that. And most nights I don't need anything to sleep. I sleep pretty well and I don't get up in the middle of the night. But if I do feel like I need something, I use either lavender, vetiver, or serenity.
Thanks, Janae.
But I am going to try the, I'm going to get some of that hydrating cream. I don't have that. I'll order that on Nectar.
Nice.
Oh, I've been using the rollerball with the Yarrow Palm and Immortelle. But I use it mainly in the morning.
I have a half empty Immortelle. Maybe I'll just fill it with Yarrow Palm and try that.
Yeah. It makes the Yarrow Palm spread a little easier.
Yeah, that's a thick one. Very blue Smurf oil.
As far as like dinner and digestion goes, I use the DigestZen caps. I think that formula is amazing, but I have a hard time smelling it because I use it so well in chemo, so it's over. But I usually have a cup of tea after dinner, and then I too do the On Guard toothbrush and mouthwash, and then at that time wash my face. And Yarrow Palm, I also really like the hydrating cream. I also really like the anti-aging moisturizer. I think it helps with my wrinkles. Yeah, for nighttime, I always do a copaiba gel cap. I usually do some CBD. I fluctuate between the Serenity caps and then Siskiyou CBD nighttime thing to use. But my I think the most potent part of my nighttime ritual is like going to bed. I like to put the diffuser on, and just depending on what, moves, put my oils on my feet and hands, and then say my prayers. Like to use the frankincense, lavender, and I really like the Roman chamomile. Helps me just feel like the stress of the day is gone, so hands and feet. And I do the seal. If I'm not sleeping, it's usually because of pain. So I've got my frankincense rolly there and cypress that I can put on, and the deep blue. But sometimes the deep blue will wake me up, because I use it a lot post exercise and for just routine pain management. So anyway, that's my time.
My nighttime routine is not care focused. I think the most that I do, I do a lot of things, but the most I do with doTERRA during night would be diffuse some oils, just to get the whole vibe going of time to relax now. And for sleep, I've been doing the rest things, look at that. Yeah, and then I do, the gratitude journal and like writing my thoughts down and listening to calming music, because it is hard for me to kind of unwind. And I find myself just staying awake for like up to an hour once I turn off the lights, and I'm like, nope.
I forgot a major part. Like after I'm done, sorry to interrupt you, Steph, but I do meditation. So if you too, so maybe that's something you could try.
Yeah, I have done guided meditation as well. All those things, it does help. Also, when I actually wake up at the end of snoozing, I find that helps me too, because it's when I snooze that it just like messes up my whole thing. But yeah, but that's it.
I have a really hard time going to meditating before I go to sleep, and I think that's mostly because I meditate first thing in the morning, and so my body is just like wakes up when I meditate. And I have done nighttime meditations, like specifically guided meditations for sleep, and I'll often fall asleep during the meditation, and then as soon as I hear that it's no longer going, I'm just awake.
Oh wow, yeah, no.
But that doesn't work for me. But it's great that, I mean, that's a really good, yoga nidra is also really good for sleep.
I use that during chemo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go back to that. I'm going to give that a try tonight.
Yeah, so you can search yoga nidra on YouTube and come up with a whole bunch of those. It's basically yoga that's just laying down and breathing. Not much of a workout. Oh, one thing that I thought of while you guys were talking is that I almost always put a drop of On Guard under my tongue just as I'm going to bed. Because I often have a little bit of a scratchy throat when I go to bed, and that just takes it away. So that's another piece that I do. All right. And for anyone, if you have any ideas of what you would like to learn about on these Monday night calls, please let me know. I want these to be your calls. I want these to be useful for you. And, we have the expertise on our team to teach you anything you need to know, especially with Becca being able to be here. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for being here.